Hey everybody out there, and today for you guys we are going to be doing a deck update of a really cool deck that I profiled on this channel about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. And now that Master Rule 5 came out, I decided to re-update this deck. And that is my Arcana Knight Joker deck. Or, as some people have called it, the playing card deck, the King's Knight, Queen's Knight, Jack's Knight deck. There's multiple names. People call it the Arcana Knight Joker deck because you go into the big fusion Arcana Knight Joker. But there's different names you could call this deck. But it's a really fun deck to play overall. I've updated it for Master Rule 5. It's a really fun deck that can use, exceed monsters as well as links very usefully. Yeah, it's a really fun deck, and I've been slowly hollowing the deck out too, which has been really awesome to do. But without further ado, let us get into the deck profile, guys. So first off, we're going to be running 3 King's Knight. He's very essential because, when you normal summon King's Knight, you want to have Queen's Knight out on the field already. That way you can bring out Jack's Knight. So he's pretty much the monster that's going to help you start that progression to bring 3 monsters out on the field. Do keep in mind they're going to have different names because some link monsters in the extra deck that's going to play an important part of. Next we have 3 Queen's Knight, and you may say, oh, what's the benefit of this card? It's just a level 4 vanilla monster. The fact that it's a level 4, both of these are level 4s, is really nice for the deck because you can use them for exceed fodder. That's a nice benefit. But also the fact that she's a normal monster means there's ways we can easily get her on the field. We have things nowadays like, Unexpected Die, which can help tutor her out on the field, and then you can use your normal summon for King's Knight, and then you can bring out Jack's Knight from your deck. So it's very easy, and it's very nice that she's a normal monster. That does play a somewhat important part in the way that this deck functions. Next up we run 2 Jack's Knight. Another thing I'll admit is, Jack's Knight is a normal monster. That is another thing you need to keep in mind to some degree. Granted, he's not a level 4, so he's not going to work with a lot of the stuff in our deck, but in some aspects you will see him play a little bit of a role for that reason. But pretty much the way you bring this deck and how it functions is you're going to have your Queen's Knight on the field, normal summon your King's Knight, and then you bring your Jack's Knight out from deck. Now granted, a hand trap can stop it, but what you're going to do about hand traps in 2020, you can run Call by the Grave if you want to in the deck, but that's up to you. Me personally, I find myself sometimes going for at least the Queens, Kings, and Jack's Knight play at least once per duel, sometimes 2 times, which is the reason we're running 2 Jack's Knight, because I always want to have that Jack's Knight in deck, because in hand it's not as useful. So yeah, that's the ratio I'm running. You can play around with the Jack's Knight if you want to, but yeah, that's the ratio. Really, really good. I've been slowly, as you can see there, probably hollowing them out little by little. Next we have 2 Photon Thrasher. Photon Thrasher is just another way to help go for rank 4s. So maybe you're just trying to go for a basic rank 4 play or a level 2 link play. Photon Thrasher is going to help you out there in that aspect. The same thing goes with Goblinberg. These are just searchable targets that are warriors that can help you go into rank 4 plays in your deck. Like I said, most of your main deck is going to be level 4s. So for that reason, these are just helping you go for those type of rank 4 plays or even link plays for that matter. So these are just some extenders for that. And then we have kind of like the Kage to Kage, I call it, of the deck, and that's Blue Mountain Butterfly. So pretty much you normal summon a warrior monster, which pretty much any normal summon that you make in the deck is going to be a warrior monster. So that's kind of like, okay, cool. This pretty much turns into Kage to Kage. You just normal summon, bring it out, and there you go. You got a rank 4 play, a link 2 play. It's up to you. But it works very well, in the deck for that reason. So these are just some basic extender type of monsters that go along with your Queens and King's Knight. We also run some other ones as well as some warrior monsters that are just nice to have in the deck. Thousand Blade kind of makes sense if you've played, Clown Blade and whatnot. He's just a nice little card to have in the deck. I do really like him as a one-of. You don't have to run it, but I like it. And then also we're running one Mermaiding Captain. And you may say, why in heaven's name are you running this card? I've never even seen it. Is that Marauding Captain making stew? Yes, you would be correct on both of those aspects. Why am I running it? And number two, yes, that is Marauding Captain in a gown making stew for everybody. It's a part of the lore. But the reason that I'm running this card is for a couple of different reasons. First off, we do run Isolde in the deck, so we do have, different quote-unquote, targets for Isolde, because we run Isolde in the deck, and Isolde, the Tale of the Noble Knights, helps you search your different combo pieces you may need to go for that Kings, Queens, and Jacks Knights play. But also, say you draw Jack's Knight, right? Well, it's going to be kind of dead in your hand. You would probably want something else. So you can have Mermaiding Captain on the field, shuffle that Jack's Knight back into your deck, draw a new card. If it's a monster, perchance, you get to special summon that monster. That can lead to certain plays. Plus, there's a multitude of ways where you could just be like, okay, I'm going to go... For example, I'm going to go normal summon Meridian Captain, bring out Bound Motherspry. I can go for a Link 2 there. That's cool. I could go for an Isolde play right off the bat. But, no matter, that counts also for things like maybe Photon Thrasher. I special summon Photon Thrasher, go for this. Okay, that's cool. I can go for a Link 2. That's cool. But also on top of that, if I shuffle a dead card that's not helping me out right now back into the deck, draw a card that's helpful to use, that's awesome. And if it's a monster, get to special summon, so I have 3 monsters possibly on the field that can help you go for things like, things like, Blackluster Soldier, Chaos Soldier, that's cool. You can go for that, and there's other things you can go for as well. So it's nice to have. Also, because like I said, because you're running Isolde, you may have a situation where maybe you only have 3 targets. So say you draw 2 equips, right? Oh, crud, I drew 2 equips, but I have 3 equips still in deck. Okay, I can send those 3 equips to graveyard to still search out Mermaiding Captain. That's kind of nice. That's just there just in case as an extra target, I find, because most of your deck is rank 4s. So it's a way to help fix certain hands. That's a normal summon that can be used for link plays. That's cool. I like it as a 1-of in the deck. I wouldn't want it more than a 1-of. It's just a nice little tech. You don't have to run it. You may say, I want to run this other card. That's fine. But I have found through the 1.5 years of playing this deck, off and on online or in real life with buddies, this card puts in work. Do not discount this card. I really, really like it as a tech choice. But you can run something else if you want to, but try out Mermaiding Captain. Nobody will ever affect Veiler it because they're just like, what's the point? I've had that happen. Nobody uses a hand trap on Mermaiding Captain. They think I'm pulling a joke. Next, we run 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs. I like this because, you want to slow your opponent down to some degree. This could be a DDD Crow, a Ghost Ogre, whatever hand trap you want to run. If you just don't want to run Ash Blossom and run Call by the Grave, run Call by the Grave. It's up to you, but, this can be whatever you want to. But I just wanted a little bit of hand traps in the deck. Next, we run 3 Unexpected Die, and you may think, well, for 3 vanilla monsters, why are you not running Rescue Rabbit? I would tell you because Rescue Rabbit doesn't help me with going for the Queen's Knight, King's Knight, and Jack's Knight play, first off. But the second thing is, the reason we're running 3 Unexpected Die, for that reason, is because it's so integral to get the Queen's Knight on the field and just be like, okay, I'm going to beam out from my main deck my Queen's Knight, and then I'm going to normal summon my King's Knight, and then I'm going to bring out my Jack's Knight. It's so integral to help beam this out from the deck. That's why you want to see this card essential. It's very essential to help with some of the basic combo plays of the deck. And even if you don't have the King's Knight in hand, it can be set up. You can be setting up plays for exceed plays and things of that nature. So, not always are you going to go for the King's Knight, Queen's Knight, and Jack's Knight play. That's completely true. But you may want to just be using basic rank 4s or link monsters. So this also helps out for that reason. So definitely a staple 3 of. We won 1 Faustin's Bargain. And you may say, what is this card? This is an old school vanilla monster type of card that's actually pretty decent. So what does Faustin's Bargains do is your question. Well, let's go over it very briefly. Send one special summon monster on either side of the field to the graveyard and special summon one level 4 or lower normal monster from your hand. What does this mean? What does this mean? Well, say for example I have a Queen's Knight in my hand, right? Oh, my opponent has a pretty powerful monster that they special summon from their extra deck. I think I'm going to send that to grave with Faustin's Bargain. Then I'm going to bring out the Queen's Knight by special summoning it, and then I can continue on with my play however I want to take it. So it's just a way, if you have a Queen's Knight in hand, to special summon it out and get rid of a problematic card on the field. So for that reason, I like one Faustin's Bargain. It is a little situational because your opponent does have to have a special summon monster. That's pretty common in 2020. But also you have to have Queen's Knight in hand. So just, you know, a good extra card to throw in there. Now, like I said, even though, you know, we're not essentially trying to always go for the fusion play, like, you're not always trying to go for a Arcana Knight Joker and, you know, a Arcana Knight extra Joker, right? You're not always trying to do that. And you're not always trying to go for the King's Knight, Queen's Knight, Jack's Knight play. But it's going to pop up, and when it does, you want to have those tools available to you to help proceed forward and to go into that play. It's a fun deck, right? This is not a super meta deck. It's a fun deck that there's no archetype based around it except a few cards, and you're trying to build something out of it. So that's what I'm trying to do for you guys. So that's why I like that, like I said, double fusion recycling and one terraforming. This helps with the polymerization. You're going to have different monsters you're going to be going for because we run this along with 2 polymerization in the deck. And the reason, what you're usually going to be going for is you're either going to be going for Arcana Knight Joker, which is going to be one of your main fusion monsters you'll go for, or you go for First of the Dragons. And this is why I say it's not always bad if you draw the sorry, I got tongue-tied there for a second. If you always are trying to go for Jack's Knight, right? If you draw Jack's Knight, it's not always bad because it's a vanilla monster, like I said at the beginning of this video. So if you have maybe double Jack's Knight in your hand or Queens and Jack's Knight in your hand and it's dead, but you have a polymerization, well then you can go for First of the Dragon here. That's pretty neat. So I like these 2 fusion monsters. We do run Kaiba Warrior in the extra deck as well. I will mention that. But that's to help go for more rank 4 plays and Isolde plays than it is for, you know, fusion summoning. So yeah, these are just a little bit of the fusion package. We do run some other, like a small little, you know, other cards in the extra deck for the fusion package. But these are the 2 main fusions you're going to be going into mainly. So yeah, that's the little bit of the fusion package in the spell department. For Isolde, we run, like I said, some equips. These are just some of the basic equips I wanted to run. We run the, you know, we do run like Cerberus and Phoenix and Unicorn, so we run Divine Phoenix Blade. Moon Mirror Shield's really awesome. If you want to run more of it, go right ahead. Most of our main deck is Warriors, so we run Magnum Shield because it's useful. Don't discount United. Don't discount United We Stand, because when you're going Queen's Knight, King's Knight, Jack's Knight, and then you equip it with United We Stand, it's like, wow, your opponent's like, wow, you just did that? I'm like, yeah, I just did that. And it can become like a crazy beater, so it's cute. And then Atomic Action Unit is just a nice extra one to have just in case. So these are just the 5. I wouldn't run more. You could cut one off if you want to run 4. That's fine. But I would say 4 to 5 equips you want to run in the deck. And like I said, you have the Mermaiding Captain just in case you draw 2 of them. It's just a target to have. For your 1-of spells, we run Double or Nothing, Instant Fusion, Upstart Goblin, Reinforcement of the Army, Monster Reborn. Yeah, for your Utopia play, because this is pretty much a rank 4 deck, Instant Fusion helps you go for Isolde in one way, and also helps you go for rank 4s. Because you're going to bring out Kaiba Warrior. If you guys don't remember Kaiba Warrior, that's Kaiba Warrior. So, old school fusion. Upstart Goblin makes you a 39-card deck, gets you your combo plays. Rhoda because Warrior deck, and Monster Reborn because it's Monster freaking Reborn. Like, what else do I have to say about that card? Lastly, we run 2 traps, Fusion Reserve. These just help with your fusion plays of your deck, and I like it as a 2-of in the deck overall. So, yep. That's your main deck, guys. Let's get on to your extra deck. For your extra deck, we run our Field Center. We run Arcana Knight Extra Joker, which you're going to be going for by using Queen's Knight, King's Knight, and Jack's Knight. That's how you make Arcana Knight Extra Joker pretty much through polymerization. But in addition to that, we run First to the Dragons as well. Like I said, we talked about this earlier. Carbonara Warrior, which is nice. These are pretty much the only fusions you're going to run. For Exceed plays, we're going to run some basics. So Bhaga Sutra, Tornado Dragon, Utopia package down here. Utopia double because it's Utopia double. And also Evil Swarm Exciton Knight as well. Then for some links, because we do run some links. So I'm going to put this down here now, forgive me, for moving everything around. So for links we run Isolde, because like I said, this is really nice. We're a warrior-based deck. If you can run it, run it. Your Nightmare package, Phoenix, Cerberus, Unicorn. For the big hitters, we do run Arcana Knight Extra Joker, which is just the link version of Arcana Knight Joker. Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of Chaos. Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, which you will go for a lot. Like, a lot. This will probably be one of the... Next to Isolde, this is probably the extra deck monster you go for the most. And then lastly, Boral Sword, because Boral Sword can win you games on its own. So that's the extra deck in a nutshell. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Like I said, this deck is super fun to play around with. I try to explain it as best I can. It's a fun deck. It is not super competitive. I don't want anybody to think of that. But the ability to do fusion plays and link and exceed plays, like 3 different mechanics in Master Rule 5, like, dude, that's freaking awesome. Like, I love it for that reason. I love this deck for that reason. Just alone, because it's like, oh, cool, I can go for links. I can go for, you know, exceed plays. I can go for sync. I can go for, you know, fusions. You know, I can go for links. I can go for exceeds. You can go for a bunch of different things, which is really, really cool, I feel like, to do in the deck. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this deck profile. It's a really fun deck to construct and build. It is a fun deck. But till next time, guys, take care. Have fun dueling. Good luck dueling to all of you. I'll see all of you guys next time. And go Arcana Knight Joker and go this deck. Because I've always loved this deck because it's kind of like it's such a fun deck from the anime because, you know, Yugi... He went Queen's Knight, King's Knight, Jack's Knight, and he would do some crazy plays, like go for a Arcana Knight Joker, or he was going to bring out an Egyptian God. So, this deck has a special place in my heart, and I've been slowly blinging it out. But, till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling to all of you, and I shall see you all next time. If you enjoy this video, leave a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe to the channel. Take care, everybody. Good luck dueling to all of you.